My name is Tom Dance. I'm a barrister at 1 King's Bench Walk, practising primarily in matrimonial finance. Once you've got orders against a trust, or even at the beginning, if you're thinking about getting orders against a trust at the start of matrimonial finance proceedings, a real question for the client and for us as practitioners will be, are we going to be able to enforce this order? If the property is in trust and onshore, and the trustees are onshore, there's unlikely to be any problem. The trustees will have been joined, and in any event an order could be enforced against the property itself. The real problem comes if the property is offshore, or the trust has been settled offshore and the trustees themselves are in an offshore jurisdiction. Many, if not all of us, will be familiar with this because they're the obvious jurisdictions: Jersey, the Cayman Islands, Guernsey, to name some of them. The added complexity of this is that most of these jurisdictions are well known as offshore trust jurisdictions for good reason, because they have firewall provisions in place which protect those trusts against variation from foreign courts. The crucial question will be then whether one can persuade the trustees to submit to the jurisdiction of the English court at the start of matrimonial finance proceedings, because if they do, it may not guarantee enforcement later on, but it will certainly assist with enforcement later on. Chapter 4 of 1 King's Bench Walk book on matrimonial finance and trusts will deal in quite some detail with submissions to jurisdiction by trustees, both as to what that means, but also as to how it might be procured, or indeed, if one is representing trustees, how you can prevent yourself becoming submitted to the jurisdiction of the English court. The concluding chapter will deal on enforcement, and in some detail with the firewall provisions in those 3 jurisdictions that I've mentioned, but also in more general terms with some of the others. The terms of them are almost always entirely prohibitive against variation of trust based in their jurisdiction, or orders made by foreign courts which try and affect the terms of that trust. And so it really is very important from the start to either to get expert evidence from lawyers in that foreign jurisdiction, and or to consider, if you have personal knowledge, as to how the orders are going to be enforced in that jurisdiction before spending time and money obtaining orders which subsequently it transpires you can't enforce.